I don't see it on YouTube right now.
It should be there. So we should
There
have
we
this.
go. Now it's starting to come up.
Awesome, awesome. So hey, we are back. I had a little streaming challenge there, but we're back and excited to be here. Today's Friday, February 6th, and it is a little bit after 10:20 a.m. and we are in the markets. And we're going to talk about forex today. We're going to talk about trading and all the different stuff that we're doing, and especially our quarter to a million quest. But Mike, we were just talking before we launched this today, and you had something that you were just about to say. Like, wait, I'll save this for the air. So what was that, my friend?
Now I'm going to pull it up and I'll show you in one split second. This morning's been a frustrating one, I'll be honest.
But yes,
I gotta. All right, no, we're not going to do it on Facebook right now. It just bounced back and forth, and I can't do it on there right now.
Yeah, I was looking for it. I don't see it.
Yeah, it just didn't pop up, and it wanted me to go through 6 other steps, and I just don't have the time because we're already late on the podcast. So we're just going to go live. It's part of what happens, and we'll just deal with it, and we'll make it better for next time. It's part of the process, right?
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to share this screen over here. I actually had to get out of it because. You guys see this?
Yes.
So I got in right here. I saw an E3 cross forming.
Yeah.
And got in here and wrote it up and wanted to see it and got it up to here. Now, if we take a look at this and an E3 cross, just so we know, we're going to go back into this more in detail, but so you guys know, it's when the 20 is above the 66 and is above the 200 for the simple moving average. Okay. So this is right at the point where the 20 broke above. We had a bearish candle here. I got in and took it up to here. Now,
nice, right?
Yeah, but as it started going down, I was expecting it to bounce off potentially the 20. It didn't. It went through. It went down to the 66, but I'm going to share with you guys later. I'm trying to test to see what someone could do with a very low balance just to pull something up. When you have a low balance, especially on gold, you can't ride this far down or it can hurt your account. Or you can almost have not enough money in the account.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to get out. So I didn't want to get out, but I'm trying to test something and prove something. So the issue is now because I got out, now I have a low balance again. Now I have to get some small wins like this before I can even consider getting into something longer term.
Got it.
So it's really important. I mean, it's like, yes, it's we can get in and we can make sure that we're understanding what to do and what's going to happen at what point in time. But you also need to be able to wait it out and be able to handle the drawback and the pullback. So this is going to go up because if we take a look at this right here, this is what I wanted to show you. If I go to the 3-minute right here, okay, so this E3 cross has already happened. It has closed below the 66 here, so that's a little bit of a concern. But it keeps on now. It's staying solid off over the 20, right?
Yeah.
So now let's go to the 5-minute. Same thing on these candles right here closed below the 20, but now it's been playing pretty safe above the 20 again as we move on.
Yes.
So now, let me zoom out here a little bit. We just had the 20 cross the 200, and this is on an uptrend. Once the 66 crosses the 200, it's probably right around here, which is roughly around 115, 130 today.
Yeah.
It's another E3 cross. Okay. So then let's look at the 30. We already have the 20 again crossing the 200. This is on an uptrend, but so is the 200. So this one might be later, but it's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. But where is it trending? They're all trending up.
Agreed.
It's all trending up. If I go to the 45, again, 200's up here and on its way down. 66 is evening off. 20's on its way up.
Yeah. So you'll eventually have another cross there, but.
Yep. So what I'm getting at is I'm very confident in getting in on this trade. Now, if I had more money in the account, okay, I am very comfortable at taking a long-term trade on a gain for the day. and just letting it sit. Because I don't see anything where I have concern like that. I think this is going up to here. It's going to take a while. But I mean, the 1 hour is on a consistent uptrend right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to indicate that that's going to change. I don't have the balance for what I'm trying to do right now. Or what I'm trying to do, I'll be honest with you guys. So I had told Don I wasn't going to say it, but I am. So I wanted to say, so, like we say, you should start off with a $250 balance, minimum 100, but still 100 could get tight, especially if you're trying to trade gold.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to do, what if someone only has $30?
Right.
And then they do their first trade and they lose 20. So now they're down to like $10. What do? Are you out? So I wanted to try to say, okay, let's say I have $7, I have $10. How can I strategically slowly build this up so I can get it back to that 250 and then drive it up to that 1,000? So I just wanted to try to play out a strategy that will work with very little balance to try to incrementally grow it. But you can't just, with a $4 balance or a $7 balance, just so you guys know, if I go back here and this goes up to here, okay, we're good. Once that starts to pull back, that's $2, $3 right there. If that pulls back to that blue line, it's over $4 or $7. So I have to go with something that I'm pretty confident is going up and going up quickly.
Yes.
So this is consolidating too much for me to get in on that trade. When they say consolidating, it's just talking about, see how it's kind of just flattening out. That's what we're referring to.
Yep.
But again, too, as you move out at the 1 hour, there's consistent trend up. 2 hour consistent trend up. 4 hour, again, big trend up. Daily. Daily's on its way up from here, from its low. And that was on Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by the way, we'll get into this later as we look at candle patterns, but very common here, where you have bullish candle, doji, and then bearish candle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So looking at that, and I did jump in on that trade, by the way. I am on a purchasing gold. I'm in a little bit of drawdown right now by
Yep.
I don't know, $1 and change. But I agree it's going up. And I'm looking at two things. So there was a supply zone up above, and then above that you've got the 200, because I'm on the 1 hour.
Okay.
So I'm looking at that and saying, okay, great. I've got a little bit of room for growth. So I've got my take profit. My take profit will be roughly $20.
Yep.
Right. Not a huge win, but where it's set right now, that's what it would be. So, and I'm in profit right now, but I know that it's likely to hit that mark. So even if I'm not paying attention, because we're going through stuff on this on the podcast, I'm able to just leave it alone. Right. I'll take $20 while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like I mentioned that earlier too, that we should bring that up. You really shouldn't be doing 2 or 3 things at once.
Yeah.
Like you can have this up and you can jump in, and that's why sometimes I like, if I have a bigger balance, I will trade the 5-minute market, the 5-minute time frame, so I can get in and out in about 30 seconds to a minute. If I'm working during the day, I can't be pulling away for this. I got to be focusing on my job and doing what I'm doing, or focusing on my task, or growing my company, whatever I'm doing at that day. But if I see an opportunity to gain 40, 60, $100, yeah, I'm going to take that, as long as I know it's going to probably be about a minute. So this longer term play here, again, if I had a bigger balance right now, and I've done this very successfully, I've grown one of my demo accounts from 100,000 to 167,000. And it's growing. So I think I'm over 170 now. I've grown at 70,000 in the last 2 months. And that's because I've treated it as like a situation like this. What would I do if I had $10,000 in my account? Well, I would bet like a 0.5 lot, a 0.05 lot right now because I'm not at the point where I'm.
You wouldn't bet.
Yeah, again, thank you for correcting the line.
Good
Right,
point.
actually, that is something, by the way, that is important that we also point out.
Yeah.
It's not gambling, but a lot of times you'll end up using those terminologies. But when you use that terminology, you're subconsciously telling yourself that you're gambling. So you need to eliminate that immediately. This is not guessing. This is making intelligent decisions based on structural information, so technical and fundamental analysis. And once in a while, yeah, we're not going to be right, but most of the time we are going to be right.
Now, to that point, you just had something that popped up on the screen a minute ago,
Yep.
which was US 30, and it was a sell recommendation from Einstein.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. And wow, look at what US.
I'm not taking the sell.
No, I wouldn't take the sell either. But where I was going with that was, how does the US 30, when that's going well, when it's either bearish or bullish, whatever it is at the time. Obviously, it's bearish right now. I'm sorry, bullish right now, and I would not take that sell either. But how does that affect gold? Because most of the time we are in gold. We're trading gold. There's just something about gold that we like to trade. It's fast, and you can actually do make some pretty good money pretty easily. You can also lose it pretty fast too. I've done that as well. But is there any correlation that we've noticed between the US 30 and gold? That's my long.
Yeah, they usually contradict each other. So one's typically doing the opposite of what the other's doing.
Yeah.
So
and I asked that one because I am in gold. I am in profit right now. Not where I want to be yet, but it's sort of hovering. It's like I'm down a few dollars, I'm up a few dollars, but I'm not where it's not really moving. And on US 30, it's
wow.
definitely been screaming up. So that leads me to ask, what's going on with fundamentals? What have we heard, or what are we seeing in the news right now?
Well, let's look. So 2 locations we're going to look at primarily. We go to Forex Factory.
Yeah.
And we will go
and you can
home.
share that screen.
Oh, that's right. I'm not sharing the window. I'm sharing a screen. So give me a second.
By the way, just so you guys know, and I can show it later, but I put my stop loss behind the 66 moving average. And so I've got a fair amount of distance there. I could take a pretty good size loss if it went down there. Right now it's going up and it's heading closer towards my my TP, my take profit. Still a little ways away. I'm about a quarter of the distance I want to make, but.
So here's what happened at 10 a.m. Okay, first of all, we had preliminary right here, consumer sentiment.
Yeah.
Anything above this, anything above the previous was 56.4, the forecast was 55, it's 57.3. So if you click on it, what that's going to tell us is actual greater than forecast is good for the economy. Okay. So that's good information right there. So that's contributing to the US. Now this one right here, it's pretty much flat. The inflation expectations, it's a
yeah. Now there was no forecast there though. Why is there no forecast showing there?
Let's see.
There's never a forecast.
Right. No, sorry. I was reading. I'm sorry. I got caught up in reading the article. I was just looking at the previous numbers. But
We're still learning all of this stuff, folks. So that's why we said we're not giving you financial advice. Understand that. We're learning all of this and we're just sharing our journey. That's what this is about. So we're documenting it, we're sharing it, but we are not giving you financial advice here. So please know that.
And here's where also we're going to go for news as well. So we're just looking at information as it happens over here. Here's blogs and stuff that's coming out. and here's just some general information that we can see. Some of this will impact it, some of it won't, depending on what we're doing. So this is what we were talking about right here with the consumer sentiment improves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I primarily stay on headlines for the most part. Again, if it's important, I need to know more if but it's I typically stay on headlines. 1 second. Did that just drop even more, or was I seeing things?
Did what?
Come on. And there we go. Coincidentally, oh my gosh, why is this waiting so long? I'm gonna close that. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. All right, so it's pulling back, but it's not doing anything. Yeah,
On gold? Yeah,
Let me
I'm
move.
seeing it.
Yeah. Sorry, my son's doing raising money for a trip to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame for his baseball team that has a tournament there this summer, and we're doing Super Bowl squares. So that's
Awesome.
why I got to move that. Let me move that off the screen. There we go.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
liking.
but here we.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I'm kind of tempted. Let me go to the 1 minute.
Oh,
It's retracting, but
I don't want to drop them below the 66. Not there. I mean, I've got it on the 66 on the other side here.
yeah, and
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this is primarily news related, but again, too, the technical says it's going to go back up. So, I mean, I'm also seeing how it could possibly weather it. Now, this is, yeah, I think that's going to go below it. Let's see, temporarily at least. So curious to see too, if this goes down here, and while we play it on the bigger time frames, as you can see on the 1 hour, so there's 21 minutes left, and it's been a consistent like uptrend with a slight consolidation, moving up. There's a decent drop here, and then it started going back up. So this might be one where we see it kind of flatten out a little bit, but I'm still liking what I'm seeing overall so far.
Yep, and I'm watching it because obviously I'm in the trade, but I'm in as a buy, and so I want it to I want it to be green. I want it going
Yep.
up. So, and you're on the 1 now, so that's gonna be all over the place. But that candle did close below the 66 on the 1 minute.
Yep.
And it's gonna be similar on the
It
because
also closed below the 20 on the 3. That's what I was curious about also.
yeah. Yeah, and where is the RSI? I don't see the RSI on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, so this is something that's been happening lately. My RSI disappears. I have to re-click it, and then I have to delete it. And then it's still there. Just for some reason, it's coming off my screen.
Yeah.
So on the 1 minute, on the 3 minute, I mean, it's bouncing off the 50. On the 1, it went through, and it looks like it's trying to come back up against the 50, and then it's the 66. It's pushing through.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
See, it's one of those things. So to go back to your earlier point about being focused, right?
Yep.
We can get into a trade, and like I said, I set a stop loss and I set a take profit on this trade, and I did it because I knew I could get distracted with our podcast and just some of the, we get into a conversation on something, right? But I wanted to make sure that I couldn't lose too much, but I had, if it hits where I wanted to hit, I'm gonna have an automatic profit, and I'm not gonna lose that because it's gonna take it, right? Once it takes profit, I'm in good shape.
There it goes.
And that, which is good. I'm almost back to profit. Almost. It was down lower than I wanted it, but I still had plenty of room. So that was, by the way, folks, that was one of the things that I learned early on in Forex trading. I say early on, this was just a few months ago. I was setting my stop loss really close to where I got in. Like I'd always set it at 15 pips. That's what I was doing at first. So what you're seeing on the screen is this candle's moving up, it's moving down, it's moving all over the place, and so in some cases some substantial moves, and we're seeing substantial moves because you're in the 1 minute, but and it moves faster there, but I was getting knocked out of a trade because the trade would drop quickly to my stop loss, and a stop loss is just what it sounds like. It stops the loss. So once the market hits that point in value, you're taken out of the trade because that's what you told the system to do. And
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, that's where gold too, because gold is higher fluctuating. It moves 15 pips to 20 pips in a second.
yeah,
Sometimes, like literally 1 second.
yeah,
So you can't set your stop losses like that, and you got to have a bigger appetite to see it go down and come back up. I have a demo account that I got in a trade on, and let's say on what, today's Friday, so Wednesday night. Well, actually, I'll show you. I got in on a trade. Where the heck's Wednesday night? Hold on. I'm gonna go to the daily. All right. So I got in on a trade here. Okay. So I got in and it pulled back to here to the candle, and I got in.
okay,
I got in a little bit later than I should have, but I was like, this is going to go up. I think it's going to go up to here. I should have got out here, but I didn't. I wanted to have it come up to here.
yeah,
And then it shot down here. This was $1,000 loss, but I didn't get out of it. So right now it's negative 127 on its way back up. Once it gets back up to like, I'll be profitable today on that. But that's because, and again, what I'm saying is if I had got out here and panicked,
mm-hmm,
which if you have a low balance, and so let's say I did a much smaller lot size, okay? If you only had $100 and right then and there, you're at $98, $99,
yeah,
you're going to panic. And you have a choice. You either got to get out or ride it and hope. And if you hope at that point in time, because you trust your structure, it is going to turn around, but your balance might not be able to support that pullback or that drawback. And if it drops too low, even though if it drops to $200 and you only have 100 in your balance, if it drops to 200, if it doesn't turn around quickly, they're going to do it's a margin call, and then they're going to shut down the account temporarily. They're going to say, yeah, you can't make any more trades today until you put more money in the account.
yep,
But what you're going to see 90% of the times, if you do that, is shortly after your margin call, it's going to do exactly what you expected it to do. You just didn't have enough balance in your account to handle the fluctuation. And that's
yes,
what gold is very important for people to learn. Like before you get into gold, that's why I like starting off with the GJ or a UJ or starting off with the Euro USD. You can easily learn how to do 20 pips and live in that range as your stop loss, or
yeah,
or put it just outside the zone. So like, for example, on here, if I was to get in a trade right now, I'd probably put the stop loss either here behind the 66 or back here behind the demand zone wall.
yep, yeah. And mine
And
is right where you pointed on the 66.
Yep.
1 hour.
Yep.
So
It's just right. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm not liking that though.
Nope. But again, looking at this too, longer term, the 20 is going to go above the 66 likely at some point today.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a matter of when. And it really is staying. I mean, I'm curious to see where it ends up today. I mean, you can see it's probably at what, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock here on the RSI where it's pointing.
That's correct.
And we just look, well, we just had on the 30, we just had the 20 pop above the 200, but the 66 is still below the 200. So it's not an E3 cross yet. But that is still an indication that it's likely going to go up a little bit. It's just not
It is.
as strong.
Yep. And I know that, I mean, I look at the 66, and the 66 is not held a lot on this
Right.
particular one. I mean, I'm looking at it on the 1 hour on my GNT, but it's moving. I just keep watching where this is. But the 66 was not a barrier going up.
Right.
Well, my question is, will it be a barrier coming down? Right? Will it be a rejection point? Will it be will it repulse it? And are the buyers there waiting to go up? And I think that they are, because I think gold wants to continue to go up.
Yeah, you can see it over here too.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, it used it as a base for like right here. And then it broke through, and then it went down. So, I mean, it is, and then it was using it, but it's stayed pretty consistent with the 20.
Yeah.
Well, besides here. But needless to say.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that we're looking at. We're just sharing with you guys, you know, what we're seeing, what we're looking at, and what we're basing some of our decisions on.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting, because it's right there. It's getting pretty close to turning green.
Yep.
Which is again what I want. And I want that because, again, I'm in a buy, right? I'm believing, and I took a trade that said gold is going to continue to go up. Okay. And that's just because I see where my zones are. I see where my 66 is. And I was watching the RSI before. I still am, of course, but and the momentum, if you look at the momentum, it's been going up.
Yep.
Right.
Consistently. Yep.
Consistently. That's right. So I do think it's going to continue to go up. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when it hits that 1 hour supply zone that you're showing on the screen there. But my TP is before that. It's actually well before that. So, so I've got some room to move is the point. And I got room to move up.
Yep.
So, yeah, so it's kind of fun, but that is one of the things that when you're looking at this and you're in a trade, it's like, it is very difficult to do something else. So you could be in 2-3 trades at once, and it's really difficult to do something else because your mind is there, right?
And you might miss something. So, I mean,
right.
Like, for example, if this thing spikes up I don't know if you have a take profit set. I sometimes on gold do not set take profits because I want to be able to ride it up higher.
Yeah.
But on this one, I would have set it at the 200 if I would just, like, in case it spikes up. But I've walked away from a screen, and let's see if I can find a huge one. Yeah, like right here. So if I walked away and I see that it's coming up to the 200 and I think it's going to try to, okay, so is this going to try to go? Nope, it broke the 200. So once it broke the 200 here, I'm probably going to get in and just see how far it's going down. Now, again, this is just a really quick analysis. I didn't drill into this, but using this candle as an example.
That'd be a nice ride down, I'll tell you that.
It is, but I mean, if I said, okay, well, I'm good right here, and it starts fluctuating and you jump out, or you have your take profit set right here.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you get your 20, 40 pips, whatever, or your $20, $40 in this scenario. I mean, let's measure it.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
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 Mike, here's a question.
Yeah.
If you stuck to Donnie's theory, 20 pips, would you be up higher or lower than you are?
On gold, I couldn't do it. It's too quick. Like, so I couldn't do 20 pips on gold. I could on GJ and I could on UJ. I tried doing it, but by the time I got in and set my stop loss, it was done.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it works really well on all the pairs, and I just personally had a difficult time because if you look at, let's see, is there a call? Is there a gold call today? Let me pull up one. 15-minute gold call. Auto fit. Okay. So this is, it called it, right?
Mhm.
Now he's updating it too, so it gives us even a little bit more advanced notice. But 49, so it says entry. I'm just going to put these lines up here quickly. 42.913. So if I do an Alt H, coordinates 42, what was I say it was? 42, 49.29, 13. All right, I'm going to make this line skinny so it's not taking up so much space. And I'm going to make it blue and I'm going to call it entry. So that's where the entry was. Where did that go?
I was
Up
gonna
here?
say, wait a minute.
What time was that? 9:15 a.m. All right, right here. So 9:15 a.m. It said to get in right at the base here. Okay. 20 pips on this one. 49.2713. Actually, you know what? TP1. Perfect. 49.27. What was the other number? 13. See that? If I zoom in like this,
Right.
now I can see the difference.
Mhm.
But on gold, let's just watch that. So if we go right here, I'm going to leave it at this distance. So if I measure that, that is whatever. We can see how small it is. If we go to something live, that's 20 pips.
Yep.
Like that little. And so what's hard on gold is if I'm going to set like a sell limit or something like that, where I want to say when it hits the back wall, set it to 20 pips, then it works. It works really well. And by the way, it works in general. If I had done just 20 pips at a time, I would be successful with it. Very successful. The problem is
It just
by
moved.
the time you set it up in gold, it's too late.
Yeah.
Right.
So like what I would like to see, and again too, when he goes over to TradingView, is there is a way in TradingView, and I'm not going to get into this now, but basically to go have this set right here and you set it up so it comes in and I just click buy and it automatically sets it to 20 pips and it automatically sets your stop loss to like 40 pips.
You answered my question. I was
Yep.
going to ask, I was going to bring that up. I was going to ask
But
that.
until
And now-
GNT is integrated
Yep.
with TradingView, we don't have that functionality.
Right. Yep.
And then once that's there, and that's why I keep on saying this is going to be game changing once it's here for
Mhm.
us.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. You know,
Because what I would have done on that low balance account, that low balance account's got stomped out, by the way. So I have to retry my theory on that. It just went down to $9 and while it was waiting to come back up, and it got close because it only had $7 at the time.
Yeah.
And that's just because, and I was right, and then it went right back to where I thought it would. but you can't write it down. And that was on 0.01. So there isn't lower you can go. So the thing that I've done in the past, which I didn't do here, because there are no big trends, but if I saw, like, for example, that trend I saw here, any of these, I would see this was heading down and I would get in on it right here, expecting it to come down to here. But I would get in at it at 0.5,
Yeah.
knowing that if it does, I'm going to make 20, 40, 60, $100 riding down here and then get out. Now the account's solid and now I can start trading normally again.
Mhm.
That's what I've done in the past, but there have been no real big swings like that. Like this was fluctuating a lot, but this wasn't like these were pretty obvious and pronounced when they were going on. You didn't know where it was going to end.
Yeah. And the nice thing, when you're in something like that, right? You've got a stop loss. You didn't have a take profit set because you
Right.
wanted to ride it, but once you're in the trade and it's still going down, you can move your stop loss into a profit zone.
Yep.
So that way you're guaranteed not to lose. You can't
Right.
lose.
And what's important? Yeah, I was gonna say what's important on that though, when you move your stop loss in, is you have to make sure it's not pulling back when you do that.
Yes.
Because there's
Yeah.
a time where yes, you want to do that, but you got to understand, and there is a bit of a feel, and Donnie does go into it, but like what the gap should be from where the money is compared to where your stop loss is.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there and it's down to like a 10 pip difference, you're like, oh, I
Mm.
want to make sure I just don't lose money. Well, there's a good chance it's just gonna go down and go back up quickly. And when it does, you might make 8 cents or 10 cents. But it could have been a 50, 80, $100 trade. You just set your stop loss. Even though you wanted to move it into profit, you just did it too early.
Right.
And that's where, as we're learning all this stuff, we're getting the base fundamentals. But that's where having someone like Donnie and getting on calls with him frequently is so important to be able to ask these questions and see it.
It really is. And to see
Right.
things happening live. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do this live so people could see it. Even when we screw up, we make a mistake, right? People can still learn from that. We're learning from it,
Right.
right? At least I hope so. Honestly, but I'm still in this trade. It's been hovering. It's I'm anywhere from plus 10 to down 20 at different points, but it hasn't gone anywhere near my stop loss because I've got that room. And if it starts to get close to my take profit and I say, all right, you know what? I think it's going to continue. I may move my take profit up and I'll move my stop loss up when I do that. But I won't necessarily put it into profit just yet.
Yep.
Right? I want to keep a big distance, right? Because I know it can move. That's the crazy thing with gold. It can move a lot. And so I want to make sure that I'm not going to get stomped out and only make 8 cents. To your example, and it's a valid point because I've done that.
Yep.
I learned that too. It's like, oh man, I know, and it just takes off after that. It's like, man, it's like the whole market knew where I was and what I was doing at the time, right? It's kind of crazy.
Feels that way sometimes.
It does. It does. So, but it's fun. It is exciting, and it's cool to be able to do this, right? I mean, we're sitting here, we're just talking on a podcast and having fun. Okay, good. So we just had a candle change, and we had a slight negative candle. I'm on the 1 hour, right? And so I'm hoping and believing as I continue looking at things that was just a little bit of a breather, and it's going to continue to go up. That's the hope that's going to happen. But I'm looking at it and saying, all right, I'm watching it. It's not going up just yet, but it's also early in the hour. What's happening, right?
Right. But here's one of the things too that's important to understand is if I had gone in and just taken what Einstein said, right, on gold, and this is where you have to understand what your balance is. I preach this. You need to understand how your balance impacts the trade.
Yes.
There is no way in hell that I'm setting my stop loss back here with a $100 to $200 account.
No.
even if I know that's the right thing to do. And that is the right spot to put it.
The challenge comes when you're in a situation like that. I recommend, with anyone that's in a situation like that, and let me rephrase what I said because I can't make recommendations, right? That's not what we're doing here. But the reality says that, look, if you're in something that's going to move or could move fast or typically moves fast, then maybe go use something a little slower, build up the account. And that doesn't have the same movements. Like gold has wild movements, but you go to something like GJ, UJ, some of those forex pairs, they can have wild moves, but they're not typically as fast as gold, and they typically don't move as much in a single candle.
Yep.
Right.
So the good news is you don't win as much, but you don't lose as much while you're learning.
Right. But if it's slower and you can learn through it, then
Right.
now you're in a position where, okay, great, I'm learning, I'm getting better, and you're building up the account at the same time. And then it's you're off to the races, and you can move to something a little faster. And if you really want to mess it up, jump over to silver for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll say this: there's a lot of similarities to your first time in silver and riding a bull. You see it on TV and you think you want to last 8 seconds. That's all you want to do, and after about a second and a half, you get bucked off. So that's my silver analysis, is because you don't know what you're doing. But look at this really quick. So here's the entry line. I'm just going to show this. This is at a normal view. The entry line was here. Okay. By the time you even click on it after getting the alert, it's probably already at 20 pips. And that's fluctuating back and forth. So yes, you're trying to wait to get back in at the entry, but by the time you go in and you set the take profit, it's already past the 20 pips.
Yeah.
So you're probably better just to go in and get in and then manually close it. But I'll often go in and set it to a TP2.
Yeah.
Or set it between TP1 and TP2, depending. Like in this scenario, I might have done it right here. Actually, that was down here at the time, so no, I wouldn't have. I would have set it to take profit too.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have been looking at this right here, this base for these 3 candles as likely a point to get out.
Yes.
And you can see this candle comes down and it doesn't hit TP2. And then it comes back up, and then the next candle comes over, and that's when it goes through.
Yeah.
So granted, that's only within a 30-minute time period that happened. And it actually almost came down to the 20. So if someone got really greedy and said, okay, well, now I want to take it down to the 20, you wouldn't have hit the 20. You would have come close, but then once it retracted, you could have got out. But bottom line is if I had set the stop loss, like the stop loss back here, I mean, that's pretty much the equivalent of TP2. Because TP2 is, for that trade right there, TP2 is down here. And it never got to TP2.
I'm battling with Jerome right now, by the way, on the 15 and on the 1 hour.
Let me add it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got Jerome and my RSI like pretty much at the same point on the 1 hour, and you're on the 15, pretty much the same point, right?
Yep.
And I just want the RSI to move. So at the bottom of Mike's screen that he's sharing, you've got a yellow line and a purple line, and they're pretty much in the same place right now. And they've been going along. I want the purple line to go above the yellow line right now. Break through, go up. And by the way, I'm not just speaking to you guys and everybody that's watching. I'm speaking to the market. I want you to go up, RSI, right? Because that's when everything is trending up. And that's what I want to see. If it breaks through and the RSI doesn't hold, I'm sorry, the Jerome doesn't hold, then I'm going to be good. And it's going to end up, that candle's going to move up fairly quickly after that, I think. So I'm watching it. But Jerome's been tough today.
Yeah. And so you guys know, Jerome is a reference that Donnie often uses because he thinks of it as like a big bouncer kicking people out or preventing people from getting in the door. But in
Yeah.
reality, that purple line is the 14 moving average. The last 14 candles in Jerome, the yellow one or the white line up here, that's the 10 moving average. So that's the last 10 candles. So it's a comparison between those two candles, but they often provide a lot of very valuable information, which is why we have the RSI, which is the relative strength index.
Yep. Exactly. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
right now, Jerome's winning. I don't like
Yep.
it.
We'll see if it pushes up though.
Yep. And it has, but I wanted to push up solidly past that. And then, like I said, then that'll take me up to my TP. And then I'll decide. I mean, at that point, because I've got a lot of room between my TP, my take profit, and the next supply zone.
Yep.
So, but all of that said, we are at time for our podcast. And so this has been fun. So folks, you're going to have to tune in on Monday to see how this trade worked out for me. And if I was positive or negative by the end of it. My plan is definitely to be positive and profitable. So hope you'll join us again back here on Monday, approximately 10:15. The stream should be live, and then the podcasts, the recorded podcast after that. So have a fantastic day, all.